There's an estimate of about 321,418,820 people living lives in the United States today, according to census.gov. Out of that number, CDC.gov says that approximately 480,000 lives will be taken per year from smoking and tobacco use. Doing this math, that number only comes out to less than 1%. That doesn't seem like a lot, but I'll get to it later how it could be a lot. A lot of people probably don't care, and obviously everyone has the right to their own body to do whatever they want. Not to mention, with these numbers, chances are you probably don't even smoke, so why should you care, right? I'll tell you exactly why. Smoking doesn't only affect the person smoking the cigarette or using tobacco. Let's break down the math real quick. With 480,000 that die each year from smoking or tobacco use, that brings our average amount of deaths to about 1,315 people lives a day. That is hard to think about, especially when we all know the value of a single human being's life. The fact of the matter is that this is just in the United States. I could only imagine the number would be much larger worldwide. Now let's go back to that number 1,315. Multiply that number by 3.14, and you get the average amount, as 3.14 is the average amount of people per family via Statista.com. So multiply 1,315 with 3.14, and you come out with 4,130 people. This is the number of people that are affected by smoking or tobacco use. Loved ones are lost every day, and that is the number of people that are grieving over the mere fact of smoking and tobacco use. This is not including the number of people that die from secondhand smoke or the friends that are involved in those people's lives that die. Now, going back to CDC.com, there are approximately 42,000 people that die from secondhand smoke per year. This is a poor thing considering the individuals affected by this choose not to smoke but are still exposed to breathing in the harmful chemicals that increase the chances of getting lung cancer. Even though smokers are more prone to developing lung cancer, secondhand smoke can also cause it as well. When I was a child, I was a victim of secondhand smoke because my father was a smoker and always smoked around me. Even though I always encouraged him to stop smoking, it was kind of hard for him to stop smoking, as he started smoking when he joined the Air Force around 20 years old. At this point in his life, he was about 40 years old. But I'll get to that story a little bit later. Overall, secondhand smoke is another reason how it can affect others to add on to that number of 480,000 per year. Now that I went over how smoking affects others in secondhand smoke, I'll explain exactly why smoking is bad for you. According to Cancer.com, a single cigarette contains at least 7,000 chemicals, which at least 70 of those chemicals are known to cause cancer. Now, why in the world would you want to put 7,000 chemicals into your body when you don't even know what they are? Some places in the body that you could get cancer are most common in the lungs and in the mouth if you're doing chewing tobacco. But you can also get it in the kidneys, cervix, liver, bladder, pancreas, colon, and other places that you don't even think of. Those are just a few to mention, actually. Here's a short clip of what it looks like when you smoke.
And push down real hard, really bad. Yeah, you see how
As you can see, obviously the pink one is the healthy lung, and the black lung is the smoker's lung.
Now try these ones. See how you're only getting particles inflating? They're not inflating as much. They're kind of shitty. Pretty much.
if you couldn't read or hear what the video was saying, it was pretty much saying that the black lung was more restricted than the healthy lung, which makes it harder for you to breathe, also causing earlier death. Going back to the story of when I was a kid, my dad smoked almost a consistent 1 pack a day. Now, people will claim that smoking is hard to quit, but my dad, after having the habit for about 20 years, he eventually did it. Not only was I exposed to secondhand smoking, I also had a sense of worry with my dad. I knew the hazards of smoking, and I always feared about losing my dad to smoking one day. I remembered him always coughing dramatically in the middle of the night, and being the concerned son as I was, I would always check up on him, making sure he's alright. Also, it affected our family financially. We weren't the poorest, neither the richest, but the cost of cigarettes were extremely high. A pack of cigarettes would cost about $6, which would average out to about $180 a month. As I said before, this story ends with a happy ending. My dad quit. My dad stopped smoking for 10 years now, keeping his word that he would do it for us, his 2 sons. This speech wasn't at all designed to scare or frighten you, but to just simply persuade you not to take up smoking and to stay away from it. I briefly described to you how many people smoking affects, how effective secondhand smoking can be, and lastly, I explained to you how smoking could be bad for you. I hope I convinced you to stay away from smoking and understand the very many cons. Thank you.